Hi there, my name is Jordan Speed, and this is for Dr. Hunt's organizational behavior class. We were required to take 3 different personality quizzes in order to show us more about our personality, and in order for us to be able to talk about and discover why it's so important for managers to know more about their supervisors and why they should know about their personalities in order to show how they need to better communicate with them and better manage and lead them. So the first quiz that I took was the Big Five personality test, which was very interesting. You had to answer about 40 questions, and I found all of my results to be fairly accurate based on how I see myself. The first thing that I was judged on was my openness to experience, and that was fairly low. I was somewhere between low and medium, but I felt like that was very reasonable for me. I don't like change very much. I like to kind of stay in my zone, stay in my area. I like to learn new things sometimes, but I do like a lot of monotonous work and being good at one thing in particularly. Conscientiousness, I scored extremely high on. I feel like I am a very organized person. I am the type of person that pays a lot of attention to detail, pays a lot of attention to what I'm working on, and I'm very self-disciplined and very goal-oriented. Extroversion, I scored most high on this than any other thing in there because I'm definitely a very extroverted person. I have a never meet a stranger personality, and I scored in the 95 percentile on this. That means 95% of other people are less extroverted than I am, which I found kind of crazy. The third thing was agreeableness, which I scored extremely high on as well, which is definitely true. I am most definitely one of those people that likes to make everybody happy, may be agreeable with everybody no matter what, and so that's something that's very important to me, and that's obviously something that I scored high on, which agrees with that. So the fifth thing was neuroticism, which I scored fairly low on, and that was also something that I felt was very realistic. Even if I do get anxious or stressed out about stuff, I tend to hide it well. I tend to compartmentalize things very well. So if I'm really upset about something, but I go into work, I hide it really well, and I'm able to demonstrate a very calm personality whenever it comes to that. So I felt like the Big Five personality test was very interesting. I felt like it gave a lot of very good information, and I feel like this is definitely something that managers could use just as a short test to give the people that are below them or their employees or however they classify in their workplace, and they can learn more about them so that they can better know how to manage them, because some people might not be very open to change, and sometimes you have to approach that differently whenever you're trying to implement change. So there's just a lot to look at there. One of the second quizzes I took was about was about finding out what your emotional intelligence is, also known as EQ. I found out that I have a very high emotional intelligence, which basically means that, like I said previously, I'm able to compartmentalize and hide stuff well. I have a very busy life, but I manage to handle all that. So even if I'm having a super emotional day, I'm able to focus on what needs to be done and not show necessarily what's going on in my life. So if someone's talking to me and I get stressed out about something, I'm able to hide that and respond calmly and like I feel like I need to. I was a little disappointed in this quiz because it told me that I had a high emotional intelligence, but it didn't go into great detail about what that meant and what the positives and the negatives were of that. So I was a little disappointed, but I still think it's a good quiz and that it's something good to know about yourself. The last quiz that I took was on leadership styles, which I think is extremely important to know and is extremely important for managers to know, especially when you're thinking about promoting people and so on and so forth. I actually scored high on 2 different management levels, or on 2 different leadership styles, I guess, and that was participative and delegative leadership styles. So participative basically means that I will listen to input from others, but that I like to have the final say, which I don't really think of myself as a controlling person, but I can take charge, especially if it's something that I know a lot about. And so I like to listen to the input of others, but I like to be the person that kind of organizes everything and puts the final stamp of approval on stuff. The delegative leadership style basically means that I am good at handing out work to other people and that I'm good at turning stuff over, which I also think is very important. I can show someone how to do something and then walk away and leave them and not micromanage or super stress out about it. So I definitely think that knowing someone's leadership styles are very important. But I was a little disappointed in this quiz as well because it gave me one sentence to go off of, for each of my results. And so it just said, oh, you got delegative, and here's what it is. And it gave me one little blurb about it instead of saying, oh, well, you got this, and here are the pros and cons of it, like I mentioned earlier. So, yes, those were my quiz results, and that is how important it is that I think managers should be able to know these things about their employees so that they can better communicate with them. So, thank you, Dr. Hunt, for listening to my video.